Another day, another countdown coming your way here on the Lawrence County Sportsnet's Countdown, Kickoff Countdown here at lcsportsnet.com. Today, we're not going countdown to kickoff. Well, I guess we kind of are because it's countdown to soccer kickoff, but also countdown to first serve. We're going to talk a little bit about the soccer and volleyball teams here in the fall. Not a lot of soccer teams. We're going to focus a lot on volleyball. And if we're going to talk volleyball, I'm James Dotson. You're going to bring in the man who no longer has a mullet because of volleyball.
Yeah, it's
Lee
true.
Moan, come on in.
Yeah, I lost that 8 years ago since I do for North Allegheny. Challenged them to win a state title. They did. The mullet came off, and I'm not allowed to grow it back because 8 years later, they're still reigning champions in the state.
So you're saying is if NA finally breaks that streak, the mullet will return?
I might try to grow it back. I don't know how much success I will have, but we might try to bring it back. Actually, Coach Russ Hoberg wants me to grow it back because he has his own mullet that does Russ. He always wears the man bun when he plays. But we have a picture of us together with the mullets together over the years. So
Oh, that would definitely be worth it for sure. And not that I'd ever root against any team, but I'm rooting for a mullet to return at some point here for sure. Thanks, Lee, again for joining us, and again all of these uh, great shows. Big thanks to Penn Ohio Bottled Water for all they do for us. He was sponsoring all of our podcasts throughout the course of the year, and we're gonna need plenty of it as we work our way down. We're about in single digits now, folks, from the start of the football season. Golf started over a
today,
week ago now.
a week ago,
Uh,
yeah. Okay.
yeah, the first matches. You're right, but I mean,
Yeah,
the work and stuff up to it. But
right.
yep, things are just going full craziness. And I do want to ask you this, Lee, before we get everything talking here about the volleyball teams. Um, this I think has to be the earliest that football season starts with their games, just with the added week 0 and about as early as Labor Day can fit in the calendar. I don't believe there's a single school in the county, maybe one, that will actually have school in session when that first football Friday is going to be. Are we starting too early with these games?
Yeah, I think Newcastle is going to be in session on the 21st. I think I read.
So they will
Um,
be on that Thursday, Friday. The
yes,
Shannick might be as well, now that I say that.
personally, yeah, I'm a big fan of starting Labor Day weekend is when they normally started that. I mean, I understand why they're doing it now because of this, the state playoff scenario. But I personally think it's a little bit too early to have those scrimmage, having that scrimmage game, there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's for me anyways. But we're not the bosses. We just call the games.
Yep. Would you tell us where to show up, and that's where we will be, and we
Yep.
will be getting plenty of football games. The goal is two every Friday, and we're gonna get a volleyball or soccer or band festival again. At least one broadcast midweek each week throughout the fall season as well. We got a couple ones lined up. Make sure you stay tuned on the website for all of those schedule updates.
Thank you for calling Axe. Where can we take you today?
To work, to the store, to Grandma's house. Axe can get you there, but it's much more than a ride. It's a joyride.
I'm helping people. I'm getting them out of their house. I'm taking them to their doctors, to the grocery store.
They say I'm entertaining. Okay, we laugh, we joke, we sing, we tell stories.
They're like family to us.
Even if it's the same day, to schedule your joyride, call Axe today.
Let's talk volleyball, and let's start with a team that made it to the WPIAL semifinals last year, lost in a heartbreaking 5-set match there, didn't Shannick, but they got a lot of starters, a lot of all-section players, Lee, coming back for their senior year. This has got to be a team that Class 2A is going to be focused on because of the number of returning players in that Lancer lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at what, six, and then you throw in anytime you throw a Noge in a name right there, you know you're up to sentence a Noge and a Newman.
Yes.
Throwing some names in there, you know you got two special athletes coming back, and with Ryan Owens and Nina Medor and Sophia Bonner, Ainsley Allison, a lot of those softball, basketball names you hear
Mhm.
about, but they're also very good basketball or volleyball players also.
Yeah, Nora Ball, the first team selection as well from libero. So you got the entire rotation basically. I think they only had two seniors on the roster last year. So similar when we get to basketball season, when they I believe also had no seniors on the basketball roster. The Neshannock Lady Lancers definitely going to be reloading. Did I just see that Neshannock won the ladies Trib Cup again for the third straight year?
I believe you're right. Yes.
Yeah. So the Neshannock girls sports certainly continuing on their dominance. What, three state championships in the last 4 years, both for competitive spirit and for softball. And I think a good chance here. Volleyball can make a run for it, and basketball we expect to making a big run for it as well. It is crazy how you get these little runs, but that it does go multiple sportsly, and you do hear the same names. But it feels like we've been calling specifically these two of Jaden Noge and Peyton Newman. Not just Nalia, Erilyn, and Hunter, but those two especially. It feels like we've been calling their names for forever.
Forever. Yeah, forever. At the smaller schools too. I mean, you get those triathletes or biathletes, in different sports, so because I mean you need those girls and guys to be able to fill rosters out at the single A level, the double A level, and it's nice to have some athletes to be able to do that.
Most of the other teams here in the county have a lot of pieces they're going to have to fill back in. Just a lot of graduating. Probably the other team that has the most back in terms of a playoff team from last year would be Shenango. You have three all-section players: Anna McKinley, another WPIL. I think she's back-to-back WPIL champion in track and field. She's a first teamer on the volleyball court as well. A couple of names coming back for a Shenango girls volleyball team that's, hey, they are used to and expect to be playing for not only section but for district championships.
Yeah, Zoe Offie, Amar DeFrank, they were or excuse me, Omar DeFrank graduated. So
Right.
Zoe Offie and Giada Christopher coming back. DeFrank was such a big part of that Shenango volleyball team last year. But people move on, so people now have to step up and step in. And Zoe Offie had a nice volleyball year last year also.
Yeah, and then we saw her all the way through the spring sport. So another multi-sport athlete getting the job done. One of the other teams that was a playoff team from a year ago, the Laurel Spartans, again, they graduated four all-section players from a year ago. But you do bring back a state gold medalist in Lexa Guyewitz, a second-team volleyballer, as well as a state champion in track and field. So at least something to build upon. But when you lose four of your starters who are all section players, it's. I mean, Coach Lou, he's been doing it for a while. He knows what to do with it, but it is a tough situation to be in.
Yeah, I believe Lou is going to be his 20. He's already 30 years of coaching. So he was a Butler boys for a while. Now he just gave up that, and he's both still, but Butler boys and Laurel girls. So he's been around, like you said, but the experience will definitely help for Laurel for sure.
And then who's going to be that next player up mentality is basically all it can be. And they yes, veteran coaches especially will know in volleyball you got to mix up the rotation early, figure out one that works for you down the stretch, and stick with it. So you'll find some find some wrinkles in it, basically, right, Lee?
Yeah, the goal is to get in the playoffs, and once you get in the playoffs, all bets are off. So try to get there. What those early non-section matches are about. The tournaments they'll be involved in the traveling tournaments. You get to mix and match that way too.
Elwood City, another team that's been in the playoffs or near the playoffs really for the last 5 or 6 years. This is going to be one of the toughest jobs, though, for the Wolverines is losing 6 all-section players. They do return Ava Lucarelli, who is a great player in the back line. Really enjoyed watching her play last year, but you lose the focus of your offense up front in Delaney Surgeon. You lose, Caitlin Kreitzer, who's 4-sport athlete, did it all. Obviously, the other surgeon, Elsie, also a second teamer. Just so many big names lost from that team. You're going to have a young squad, but you're going to have a solid back line, I think, with Lucarelli really at the top of it.
Yeah, the coach is going to have her. Yeah, they're going to have their work cut out for them at Elwood City. So I'm sure they've had a lot of summer practices and summer leagues and trying to figure out who and who's going to step up into those positions.
Want to mention Emma Figuerel, by the way, another one of those. She was a first teamer, also graduated from that Elwood City team as well. We'll stick in Class 2A real quick with Mohawk. They do return Marley McBride, but another team that has lost a bunch. Mohawk has been on the outside looking in the last couple of years, but has shown some promise. Marley McBride, the main player we're going to be taking a look at, but they're going to have a team that is going to need to really batten down the hatches, so to speak, if they want to make it into the postseason this year.
Again, not a lot of experience coming back for Mohawk. They were fun to watch last year up at Mohawk. A couple of matches we were able to broadcast up there. So hopefully they'll be able to turn things around this year and get in that playoff spot.
2 teams in Class 1A, one in District 7, one in District 10. We'll start with Wilmington up in District 10. Nobody making the all-region team last year, but a lot of players coming back. Aaliyah Jekovic, Macy Gardner, a good middle hitter, Izzy Lynch, a real strong attacker as well. I can't believe this record, though, Lee. It was a 4-4 region record. They only played each other once in the region, but there were 8 games on the year, 8 matches that went a full 5 sets, and they finished 3-5 in those, which isn't bad. But I mean, you flip 2 of those games, and it's a completely different script.
That's a hard number to be able to read there. You don't hear of 8 5-set, maybe 3 or 4 during a year, but not 8. So at least they, so the talent's there. So it's just a matter of turning the switch and learning how to win those 5-set matches.
The other 1A team being Union in Class 1A, only graduated 1 senior, but a lot from the all-section team. They're a team that I think has obviously a lot of talent and a lot of familiar names who just brought home state gold from the softball field that are looking to do the same thing now on the hardwood, at least get themselves back into the WPL playoffs.
Yeah, Maddie Settle and Hayden Strickler and Olivia Benedict. Yeah, remember all those names for sure. Maggie Joseph. So yeah, they made a run a couple of years ago. Did that Union volleyball team, and so hopefully, with all that talent coming back, they can make a dent in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, throw in Miera Gunn, won her second gold medal on the basketball court, or actually her third, 3 in a row for the Scotties, and Charlotte Duralu, a outside hitter as well, second team all section a year ago. And real quick, want to give a couple of names for Newcastle playing just another brutal section in Class 3A. Janessa Morrison was a second teamer, the only all-section player last year. Now, she was listed as a senior last year, but she is still listed as she was listed as a junior, though, on the rosters that were sent to us. So Janessa Morrison, we believe, is back. Could not get confirmation at the time of recording, but believe Janessa is back. We also got Kamaya Tompkins, Michaela DeGenero, a couple of good hitters as well for a Newcastle team. They're gonna have to fight. They did fight. They had a good number of wins last year, but just being in the unfortunate part of being in a really difficult section that faces some of the top teams in Class 3A.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Newcastle, but hey, you compete early. You said get that rotation set down, and maybe hopefully we be able to surprise a couple teams.
Don't get left out to dry. Call the Penn Ohio Bottled Water Company for the fastest and most efficient bottled water delivery service in the area. Penn Ohio offers bottled water ranging from 16.9-ounce bottles to 5-gallon jugs, perfect for your next event or office water cooler system. Also, don't forget to ask about their custom labeling options. Visit PennOhioBottledWater.com for more information and to get a quote on their delivery services. Whether it's at home, in the office, or on the sidelines, Penn Ohio has you covered.
Real quick, just looking at the soccer teams, Neshannock, Mohawk, Elwood City, the only schools with soccer teams for the boys side in the WPIL. Mohawk soccer girls team as well. Mohawk, Elwood City on the boys side were bottom of the section. Neshannock playing in Class 1A. Again, a brutal section. I believe you got Eden Christian in there. You got Greensburg Central Catholic in there. I believe Olsh also in that section. All difficult teams. You got a great attacker in Zayden Herb and a great keeper in Mason Smith. Got to give a shout out to Vasily Neofatistos because he would have made our all name team for sure if he was on the football field. Hey, he might be. Maybe he's coming out to kick this year. Who knows? But Vasily Neofatistos, he was a great player. Diego Porras, a bunch of great guys on that Shannock soccer team that I think they could potentially make a run. They were in a lot of close games as well last year. Just unfortunate. I think all these schools, at least in WPIL, fighting a bit of the numbers battle in terms of barely can field an 11. Certainly not being able to practice a full 11 on 11.
Yeah, so that's the tough part about it. But hopefully they'll be able to get those numbers up and get a run and send me that pronunciation for that Neshannock soccer player because I feel like you're going to stick me with a Neshannock game, and which is fine by me. But I want to be able to pronounce that name correctly.
Vasily Neofatistos. That's one of the fun ones that we've had. Our colleague Aaron Vigiano, who does the Pie Festival at Neshannock, he's the one who gets caught having to announce Vasily's name each and every year. So congratulations to him one last time of having to deal with that. On the District 10 soccer side, for Wilmington on the girls' side, Giada Toscano, saw her as a freshman make an impact right away, a couple of goals in either the first or second game of the year when we broadcast up there. She's going to be one of the top returners for that Wilmington program. Believe they're still in a co-op with the Neshannock girls, so hopefully numbers won't be too big of an issue for them. I like that's the perfect example of a co-op, and I think it would be nice to see more of that, honestly, Lee, when you only have four boys programs, two girls programs in the entire county. You'd like to be able to see more, but I do understand as soon as you co-op with a team, that means you moved your enrollment up and could bump you up a classification. We just want kids to play. It's the long and short of it.
And that's the main thing, trying to get these kids to play. But it does take two schools willing to work together, and cause it takes a lot of it's a big challenge to get two schools to get together, find the practice time and all that other good stuff. So, but it's definitely nice to see. You're seeing more and more of it.
A good number of boys on the Wilmington team making the first team all region. Frank Donnelly, just a freshman last year. Seth Arblaster, Josiah Johnston, they're both back next year for their senior year, as are Daniel Wilson, Beckett Miller, also making that list. Ethan Johnston also on that list. He's just a sophomore, or was a sophomore, now will be a junior. Also, though, the big name, though, is Ryder Turbo, who was actually named the, I believe it was Erie Times Small School Soccer Player of the Year, was Ryder Turbo, leading the team in goals yet again. He's coming back for his senior year. So lots of pieces back. Wilmington made it to the title game just 2 years ago. Lee, it sounds like they are poised with a lot of weapons coming back to maybe make another run at a championship.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if they can get a championship. We can go up to D10 and broadcast a District 10 soccer championship game, which would be fun for sure,
And they've been right there on the doorstep. And again, with so many players coming back with experience and quality experience, I do think we will be seeing Wilmington at least make a strong push towards that District 10 title. Again, we're going to have 2 football games every Friday. We're going to have at least one midweek broadcast basically every week, whether it be volleyball, soccer, band festival, anything, you name it, we got it. That's how it is here on the Lawrence County Sportsnet. 150 broadcasts coming this school year, at least in over a dozen sports, and that's just the way we like it. Especially Lee Moan when I set him up to do a bowling match to give him his real bread and butter.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get out to the bowling alley again next year. But we'll see how the schedule works out, and then the bocce and everything else that we do Lawrence County Sports Network, and hopefully I'll be able to get off of the band festival here in Lawrence County this year.
We'll make sure we send you that date and make it all available. And we're going to get golf back on for this year
Yes.
as well. Golf, track, cross country, all of the above. And I do want to mention track and cross country real quick because of Mohawk cross country, always a stellar program, though they do lose arguably the greatest track athlete of Lawrence County history, certainly the greatest distance runner in Lawrence County history in Jackson Shadle. Best of luck to him at Penn State. Best of luck to Laurel's Tori Atkins. She didn't run cross country, but she was a big part of track for the last 4 years at Laurel. Best of luck to her at YSU as well. So we lost a couple of stellar runners, but we're still going to see some quality cross country teams, I think, here in the fall as well that we're going to have to keep our eye on.
And on the golf side of things, got to mention real quick, Trib, a couple players to watch for. Eli Benjamin of Laurel and Raka Bayudi of Nishannick, both juniors, mentioned as potential top players expected to be seen on the golf course. And, of course, the Elwood City team, I mean, they got most of their big five back: Jordan Keller, Nate Kennedy, Jackson Rosansky, Gino Biondi, Cam Keller, Jackson Kerr, expected to be all kind of rotating in as a pretty solid group. That was actually at one point our team of the month last year. So we'll have more of the team of the months coming up as well. But, players coming back or shoes to fill, lots of great stuff going on.
Yeah, without a doubt. So they're tough shoes to fill, but I'm sure they can be filled.
Tough shoes to fill without Lee Moe. That's why we keep bringing them back each and every year. Thanks again for joining us on this and all of these preseason podcasts. We're going to have Lee back, and as well as the whole gang coming up, as we're going to have a fun edition coming up early next week. And by the way, coming up on Wednesday, when we are on game week, Wednesday next week, we will have our first live podcast as we will be previewing the week 0 games, and that'll be the goal, and that will be the schedule for the rest of the season every Wednesday with our Beyond the Scoreboard podcast. Thanks again to Limo. Thanks again to Penn Ohio Bottled Water for all their great stuff and all of our great sponsors on the Lawrence County Sportsnet. I'm James Dotson. Stay tuned. More previews, more kickoff countdowns, and then opening night coming up in just over a week on the Lawrence County Sportsnet, powered by LCAP.